speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, another Tyranid Learning Curve and another HQ choice. In actual fact, the last of the HQ choices, and that's the Death Leaper. So we're going to run through the stats of this guy. So he's 130 points. He is a special character, so he has his fixed pieces of war gear. He's weapon skill 9, ballistic skill 3, strength 6, toughness 4, 3 wounds. He's initiative 7. He has 4 attacks, leadership 10, and he has a 5+ save. So pretty decent stats there. He obviously only has that 5+ save, and he's only toughness 4. So obviously immediate problems there with potential being instant death. But as we delve into this guy a little bit more, you'll notice he's got a whole host of special rules. And if you like your special rules, then this is the guy for you. So he's armed with rending claws and scything talons, so he will get an extra attack for 2 weapons. So potentially on the charge he's going to have 6 attacks, which is quite nice. One of the few models to have flesh hooks, so basically frag grenades, and you can shoot that as well. So it'll be strength 6, 2 shots, no AP, but even so, potentially, you know, side armour of vehicles and stuff, it can happen. Then we have chameleon skin. Now obviously this guy basically is a beefed up lictor, so he's got quite a lot of the lictor special rules, but yeah, chameleon skin, so he doesn't scatter when he deep strikes. Of course he has the deep strike special rule, he has the fear special rule, and he has infiltrate special rule. So you are able to obviously infiltrate him. It does give the option to flank, but you probably won't be doing that. But certainly infiltrate and deep strike are going to be the main plays for this guy. He has fleet. He also has hit and run, which is a nice thing to have. Whether he's going to be around long enough to do hit and run is another story, but that it is there. He isn't a synapse creature, and he will lurk, so you have to bear that in mind. He has move through cover. He has the It's After Me special rule, which is quite nice. At the beginning of the game you can choose one of your enemy characters, and that character would be minus D3 leadership until the Death Leaper dies. That is quite nice. Not necessarily for what it can do and how it can affect the game, although circumstantially it can affect the game, but more importantly it's a psychological piece of war gear. You know, your opponent would have paid points for their HQ choice, and you're just about to change the stats. You're going to reduce its ability, which is just really nice to be able to do that, and will affect your opponent. He has the pheromone towel. So if he's on the board, then any of your deep strikers that come in will not scatter if they deep strike within 6 inches of him. Now that is really useful, especially if you're deep striking Morlocks in. So you do infiltrate this guy, or if you deep strike him in, your Morlocks have that ability to not scatter. Fantastic. Now having said that, if you do deep strike the Death Leaper in, the reserves that come in the same turn as him aren't able to use his scattering ability. So it's only the turn after he comes down, so you've got to bear that in mind. It is quite useful for Morlocks though that maybe go into ongoing reserve, because they'll be obviously coming in later in the game. So it's something just to consider. It is a nice ability. Has the stealth special rule, so he will have obviously +1 to cover save. So ideally you'll be trying to infiltrate or deep strike him into cover, ideally into a ruined building, because obviously that will be a standard 4+ cover save. Then you'll get your stealth to that. And of course, as he's not fearless or anything, you're able to go to ground as well. So you are looking at a potential 2+ cover save for him. Now, not only that, but on top of that, he has the Where Is It special rule. Basically, anyone that targets him with shooting can only snapshot. So even though he has that 5+ save and toughness 4, he's actually very difficult to hit. Certainly in shooting anyway. So how are we going to use him? Now, I think as a HQ choice, he's actually pretty decent. bearing in mind, obviously, we do have lots of good HQ choices, in particular, like I always say, the fly runts. But putting those aside, maybe in smaller point games, remember this guy's only 130 points, he does make quite a nice HQ choice in smaller point games. He's easy to hide if you want to stop Slay the Warlord from happening, which is how I used him when I played Ace Face. That was a 2,500 point game, and he was my Warlord. And I just kept him, kept him in reserve. Tried to keep him in reserve for as long as possible. When he did come out, I just deep striked him into a building right at the back, behind this massive building, and just kept him alive for the game, stopping Slay the Warlord. Of course, he has moved through cover, don't forget, so when he does deep strike into terrain, he doesn't scatter, and he doesn't take dangerous terrain checks. So all in all, I think he's a great little unit. Obviously particularly useful if you're using a Death Leaper orientated army. If you're using lots of drop pods coming in, having a spread of lictors and the Death Leaper around will help those drop pods come in without scattering. And like I said, the Morlocks, or potentially if you're using Trigons that way, etc. So certainly not a bad choice. Pretty nice set of stats, very fun to use, lots and lots of special features or special rules. So yeah, I would say thumbs up to the Death Leaper really. Okay, so that is it. That's all the units covered in the Codex. I hope to continue the learning curve with looking at things like the psychic powers and warlord traits, etc., building your army list, that type of thing. There obviously are rumours of new Tyranids coming in January, so we'll have to obviously reassess the situation then. But for now, as I said, the learning curve's not finished, but that is all the units covered. So hopefully this little series has been useful to you. But yeah, definitely more to come. That's it from me. Thanks for watching.